Hello and welcome back to Dual Controllers. I'm Brandon Dale as always, and in this episode we're going to take a look at games from Pokemon to Elder Scrolls. So get ready to catch them all and take an arrow to the knee because we're talking about RPGs. I know what you're thinking, and no, I'm not talking about a rocket-propelled grenade. I'm talking about role-playing games. They got their start way back when with Dungeons & Dragons, but that's Dylan's jurisdiction. Role-playing games, as we know them today, were favored in Japan, and when they made it across the pond in the early 90s, they were welcomed here with open arms. But what are role-playing games? Well, they're games where you, the player, takes control of a character in a usually large fictional environment. One of the oldest and most revered RPG games of all time is none other than Final Fantasy. And while it got its start in the retro, nowadays it's one of the best-selling franchises of all time. Some credit could be due to the ever-changing storyline. Each game usually has a different storyline than the last. But recently they've been doing sequels, which is kind of confusing with all the numbers in the title. But what really keeps the gamers coming back is the playable and replayable core gameplay experience. Moving to more of a handheld franchise, but it's still had some console success, and it is credited the best-selling RPG series worldwide. Of course I'm talking about Pokemon! In Pokemon, you take control of an aspiring Pokemon trainer, and you go throughout the map to catch and train the best Pokemon you find. Then you go to gyms, battle leaders, get badges, and enter a tournament to be the very best that no one ever was. Now before we go on anymore, let's see what Dylan has to say about the retro side of RPGs. Dylan?
For retro, we're going to talk about the first known RPG game to come over to North America. And the game I'm talking about is Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Considered the first RPG released on the NES, it surprised gamers with early RPG elements that heavily contrasted with the first game. Zelda 2 was a combination of side-scrolling and the RPG elements, and Nintendo wouldn't try the style in later games except the CDI games. The next game on our list is another Nintendo character exclusive of RPGs, known as Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG was a game that broke from the usual Mario formula. This game introduced RPG style of gameplay that wouldn't be revisited until Paper Mario. Super Mario RPG revolves around the legend of the Seven Stars. A new gang of villains has kidnapped Princess Peach and even kicked Bowser out of his own castle. Interesting fact. This game was developed by the same people who brought you Final Fantasy. Another RPG game series that got its start on the NES was also a game series that had a name switch, known as Dragon Quest and Dragon Warrior. Dragon's Quest was known as Dragon Warrior until 2005. The first installment was released on the NES in 1989. This RPG revolved around a hero who has been charged with saving the kingdom of Alvgard and rescue the princess from Dragon Lord. This game story is actually the second part to the trilogy, as it comes right after Dragon Quest III, the same story process done in the Castlevania series. How can I go through a retro segment of RPGs and not mention the start of what Brandon was talking about earlier? The start of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy was the first of the series,
of course!
Released on the SNES in 1990. The story revolves around 4 youths called Light Warriors who carry these things called Element Orbs. They must band together to defeat the 4 elemental fiends from, you guessed it, taking over the world. Of course! I'd love to stay, guys, but we gotta turn it over to Brandon so I can go catch them all.
RPGs are very popular with PC gamers as well, and one of the biggest PC games of all time is World of Warcraft. In World of Warcraft, you create your own character and travel around a large map, completing quests and gain XP to improve your character. This game, and others like it, are known as MMORPGs. That stands for Massively Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game. Say that 5 times fast. This allows you to play and interact with people all over the world. Another game that puts you in the middle of Middle-earth is the Elder Scrolls series. This is another game where you create your character and you choose how you want to live. These games offer a lot of cool surprises, like being able to play as a vampire or a werewolf. You also get to improve a wide range of attributes as you gain XP. Another thing, why is every guard a warrior that took an arrow to the knee? Not that many people took arrows to the knees, and if they did, they either got septic and died, or they got it amputated.
Brandon, it's just a game.
I know, but it's a principle. It does not make sense. Well, I'm Brandon Dale.
And I'm Dylan Listener.
And we're signing off.
My Pikachu, he's evolving!
Took you long enough.
I'm so happy!
Yeah, well, I'll see you in the Sinnoh League Championship.
How did you get there?
I'm me.
Oh yeah!
Then you go to gyms, battle leaders, get badges, and enter a tournament to be the very best that no one ever was.
Catch them's my real test.
To train them is my call. Da-da-da.
I will travel across the land,
Searching far and wide. Da-da.
it's Pokemon to understand the power